Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Coaster Cheetah video, and in this video I'll be doing a coaster review for Griffon at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, which is a B&M dive coaster. And the reason why it's taken me so long to review a dive coaster is because they kind of all blend together for me. However, I've chosen my favorite out of all the dives I've ridden, which is Griffon at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, and I'll be reviewing it in today's video, because I'll probably not be doing a ton of reviews on dive coasters unless one really stands out to me. So let's get into the coaster's layout. Out of the station, you take a little turn, which leads you into your lift hill, and you will climb 205 feet in the air, and then you'll have your classic like panoramic turn, and your obvious, your drop, your dive drop here. And yeah, this is a pretty standard drop. However, I do love these drops, especially off the ride. They just look really great how it like hangs you there for a second and then drops you. And this is, of course, a 90-degree drop straight down, and then you'll go straight into an Immelman, which is, again, a classic move for a B&M dive coaster. And then after the Immelman, you will go into a kind of like a turn into your mid-course, and then, which is kind of unique for this one, it was actually the first in America to have two inversions on a dive coaster, because right after that mid-course break run, you drop off, which is another great dive, and then you have another smaller Immelman, and then you go into a quote-unquote airtime hill. It's kind of like a speed hill, because it doesn't provide much airtime, which you kind of should expect for a B&M dive. However, it seems the more modern ones are starting to like take airtime moments into their layouts. But yeah, this is just more of like a speed hill, and it's kind of angled, and then you go into your splashdown, which is definitely the most visually appealing part of this ride. It matches so well with the paint scheme, and it just is really beautiful off-ride, and it's a great like splash area for guests to go near and look at. Is just really awesome. Then after that, you have another little turn and a little hill into your brakes. So not a very long layout and a very standard layout. However, something about this ride, I'm not sure, I just do enjoy it more than the other dive coasters. Maybe it's more comfortable, something about it. I do prefer it slightly over SheiKra. Both look incredible though, and I feel like the main point of the dive coasters, honestly, is like to intimidate the guests and like make it look like a fierce ride, because then they'll want to go on it. So yeah, let's go into my likes and dislikes about the ride. And like a few of my dislikes: first of all, no airtime. Also, they aren't really the most forceful rides. Like, they are really like meant for the GP, which isn't a bad thing, because I mean, for the parks it's great, and there's a reason why so many of them have been purchased, and why Gerstlauer is now starting to build dives like holding brake drops on their Infinity coasters and Eurofighters. And it is really a great, coaster if you really think about it for the GP. It is literally a magnet, and it's perfect for them. And just because us coaster enthusiasts don't necessarily love them, again, they're not like bad rides or anything, they're just not the best rides. Like, there's a lot better for us. And I think, honestly, it's visually better to look at the rides rather than ride them, honestly. I mean, the drop, the splashdown, well, the splashdown doesn't really, affect the on-ride, because you don't actually get splashed on-ride. But the two Immelmans, the two drops, are really the only parts, and the rest is just duds, mostly. So that is why I do think that they're, like, equally visually appealing rather than actually riding them, or to actually riding them. And it's not like I dislike them, but as I ride more and more B&M dive coasters, I learned that they kind of do all blend together for me. However, again, something just makes me like Griffon more than the others, and it's not by a large margin. So for my personal score of Griffon, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10, because I do think that it is very repetitive, and it's a good ride, just not the best. So yeah, in my opinion, that does fit the score. And yeah, I don't know. It's just, I mean, the looks of all these dive coasters are excellent. They all, I mean, none of them really in America here are themed very well. However, if a park wanted to build one that would theme them very well, like something like Fantasyland, even though I know they'd probably never build a dive coaster I know, like, Hershey Park might, I know they're, like, kind of rumored to. However, like, I would love to see another themed one, like Baron 1898, because that is just themed so spectacularly, and I would like to see that again in the future. However, I just don't really see it a lot. I mean, it's probably a lot more expensive, and the GP will still ride it regardless. So, yeah, but I do want to review this coaster. I did want to because, I mean, it is like one of B&M's most popular coaster models, so yeah, I'm not really a huge fan of the model itself. However, I do love them, and yeah, I'm just glad to ride them all. And I know their newer ones, like their mini dives, like Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger and Emperor, they are both, I mean, I've heard they're actually kind of better than the the older ones, like the taller ones, because these kind of feature airtime, more unique elements. And yeah, I mean, they kind of erase the one-trick pony reputation off these older ones, and I can kind of see it because they look like they actually have some great elements. And I have always liked the trains on the dive coasters because they're funky, and they act kind of like wing coaster trains because, yeah, there are many seats. Like, most of the seats on the B&M dive coasters with the floorless model, or the floorless trains, you do sit off the track, which I think is really excellent. And yeah, Griffon is a great ride, and currently is my favorite B&M dive coaster, but, but I have a feeling that, honestly, Dr. Diabolical and Emperor will probably be better than it when I ride those, and I just can't wait to see B&M innovate more with these, and maybe even another company start building them, more in the style, like, unlike Gerstlauer, even though those kind of do look better. But yeah, guys, if you did enjoy, please like and subscribe, and comment down below what you think of Griffon and B&M dive coasters. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.